Be still. Be. And I want to talk a little bit about the purpose of silence because silence, to a certain extent, underlies much of meditation. Not necessarily, there are many ways to meditate, but this is one, and particularly when we are in a place like the service, it's an easy way to share. First, in silence, we seek self knowledge and self acceptance. We want to know and to nurture ourselves. For as the saying goes, only in still water do we see our reflection. The potential gift in silence is the discovery of our true self, our true identity. At first, in silence, we may experience our restlessness and our compulsiveness, our unexpectedly strong desire to produce, to influence, to make an impact. But if we can sit with the silence, both exterior and interior, who we truly are emerges, and we have the opportunity to embrace all our disparate selves, the ones we admire and the ones we fear, the ones we welcome and those we had just as soon keep hidden. Being a complete, integrated whole, whole as in holy, person asks us to welcome and integrate all of who we are. So, take a deep breath. Second, we look for silence to deepen intimacy. You only have as much connection with others as you have with yourself. You experience others as you experience yourself. Do you trust yourself in silence? Do you, as mentioned, welcome and integrate all aspects of yourself? Do you find yourself lovable, authentic, a source of comfort? If so, then you will also trust others. You will welcome them, warts and all. You will find them as lovable, authentic, and comfortable as you find yourself. Third, in silence, we seek to know God. Stillness is the place where God reveals God's self as God with us, the God who anchors us, centers us, gives the very self of God to us in unconditional, limitless, unrestrained love. We have a choice to settle into stillness, and this is an important first step in the process of contemplation, of gaining contemplated vision. Just as silence opens us up to the presence of God in meditation, it opens us to the presence of God observed as we look at the world. It makes us receptive to the time, the place, and the subject that we see. The time and place where we find peace, depth, communion with ourselves and others, and the subject matter in which we see the face of God. So I invite you simply to continue to breathe deeply and slowly, to rest in the silence, to rest in the being with God. To the extent that you are capable, let your mind rest in that connection. If, as most of us, you find that your mind hops up and runs off in another direction, following some other idea, simply take a deep breath and bring it back into focus, to focus on God, with God. Because we are not changing God in order to have a relationship with it. We are changing ourselves because God is always here. And so breathe and relax and be available. Be in communion with God. thoughts chatter like a monkey. But you are not the monkey. We are not the monkey. You are the magnificent, stately, ancient tree. Reach into the clouds, rooted in the earth, offering shade, silent, strong, and wise. Through the branches races the monkey. Shrug your massive branches and let the monkey fall to the forest floor. He is not hurt, merely offended. For a while, at least, love the silence that you are. And so when you are ready, I invite you to open your eyes, to bring yourself back into the room, to remember the silence. And we will have the service in approximately 15 or 20 minutes. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living and our Sunday celebration service. We're so very glad that you have chosen to join us today, whether you're here at 4 Points by Sheridan or you've invited us into your homes through the power of live streaming. We are very, very happy that we are all together today. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Dusty Rippelmeyer. My pronouns are she and her, and I have the honor and the privilege of being this community's spiritual director. This community is a spiritual community that honors all paths and promotes global transformation through personal transformation. We're a spiritual community that can support you as you really strive to experience a personal relationship with the divine. A spiritual community where you are respected and accepted just the way that you are, and a spiritual community that offers loving support as you really grow into your highest and best self. You are welcome here no matter where you are on your spiritual path. We are part of a larger organization called Centers for Spiritual Living. Centers for Spiritual Living is a global community of over 450 centers, teaching chapters, and special focus ministries throughout the world in 30 different countries. And it's a practical, positive philosophy, faith, and way of life whose vision is a world that works for all. So once again, we're so very glad that you have chosen to join us today. With these lovely flowers right here, we have a flower dedication today for them. And the flower dedication is from Suzanne Cardinal. She says, these flowers are dedicated to Eleanor Cardinal Allen on the occasion of her 94th birthday. Eleanor is kind and generous and can talk with anyone, making each and every person feel important. Her light shines brightly. She continues to bless all who know her. May we each send Eleanor big blessings of love, health, peace, and joy for her birthday and for the upcoming year. Love, Suzanne. Happy birthday, Eleanor. I would like to thank Reverend Betty Harris for her beautiful meditation that enlarged the container that our service will unfold within. And now in this moment, I would love to invite up to the pulpit Sean Shockey for our announcements.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome home. When I say welcome home, I'm talking to myself also because I wasn't here last Sunday. And I missed being here. So needless to say, I've been looking forward to today all week. Not that where I was last Sunday was bad, but I'm home. So welcome home, everybody. Okay. Our Wednesday evening services throughout 2024 are called Beyond Sunday. You're invited to join us online as we dive deeply into the inspiration of Mirabai Starr's book, Ordinary Mysticism, Your Life as Sacred Ground, on Wednesday evenings in November. In Ordinary Mysticism, Star assists readers discover their own inner mystic and let go of the limiting belief that spiritual life exists only in traditional places of worship. Embracing mysticism in our everyday life is a way of being more alive in the world. Although reading the book is not required, I encourage you to consider checking it out. Okay, number two. This announcement is a save the date announcement for the return of our annual Thanksgiving Day service and potluck. Okay, Reverend Dusty is very excited as she has missed breaking bread and being grateful with all of you on her way on her very favorite holiday. Reverend Dusty will provide the turkey and invites all y'all to bring the sides. The celebration will be on Thanksgiving Day and will include a gratitude service and then a magnificent dinner. You can begin to bring food in at 12:30 with the service at 1 and the feast at 2:30. Okay. Is that here, Reverend Dusty? Okay. I didn't see that. There's the address where it will be held. Okay. This is a save the date announcement also for a very special Sunday. The amazing singer-songwriter Jessie Powers will be joining us on Sunday, December 1st. She will not only do the music for our service, but will also be facilitating a concert following the service at 12:30. She is calling it a post-holiday cozy concert and invites everyone to wear comfy clothes and drink warm drinks. Blankets are encouraged. $20 is a suggested love offering or pay whatever you can. Come for our Sunday celebration service and stay for the concert. We encourage everyone to bring a light lunch or run out to one of the restaurants in the area and grab something to eat. We will set out some tables and chairs for people to break bread together before the concert. The concert is on Sunday, December 1st. Please watch this video.
The deep end, watch as I dive in. I'll never meet the everybody get up. Oh, it's a beautiful day.
Hi, Triangle CSL. This is Jessie Powers. I'm a touring New Thought musician from Columbus, Ohio, and I have played at your center before a couple of times, so some of you may remember me. But I want to let you all know that I'm coming back. I will be there on December 1st for your Sunday morning service. And then after service on Sunday, I'm hosting a concert. And my goal with this concert is for it to be cozy and relaxing and nourishing and a respite from the busyness and not something you have to be on for or show up for. So just come in your pajamas, bring your blankies, bring your warm cups of tea. I have so many new songs to share with you that you haven't heard yet. And it's been a while since we've been together, so I'm really looking forward to it. And yeah, please come out on December 1st. I'll see you there.
From the western to the east.
Because the concert is on December 1st, we are moving our usual birthday celebration bunch to the last Sunday in November. In this case, we will celebrate the December birthdays on Sunday, November 24th, following our service. Number 5, winter is the perfect time to start or to restart a regular journaling practice as a tool for spiritual growth. Winter is a time of introspection and reflection. Make the most of this season's unique energy by exploring journaling techniques that address some of our biggest personal issues, such as, how can I learn to accept the aspects of myself that I dislike? How can I heal my wounds from the past? How can I truly integrate great wisdom into my own beliefs and spiritual practices? Find out at Crystalline Clarity, a winter spiritual journaling workshop. The workshop will be held here at Four Points by Sheraton on Sunday, October. Okay. Okay, on Sunday, December 8th at 12 to 3. Okay. The cost is suggested $30. Reserve your spot at, it's not up there, so I guess I have to read these. 8 HTT, we'll put this on outside. It's the address that you can get your spot, because nobody would remember that if I said it anyway. So, okay. By Sunday, December 1st, the workshop is facilitated by Carol Cross, RSCP, Masters of Education, and longtime journaling enthusiast and practitioner. Please welcome Reverend Betty back to the podium.
All right, here we go. The theme for this year, 2024, is A Grand Rising. And our theme for the month of November is a bun dance. I'm still waiting for clarification on that, but whatever. Dusty's message, Reverend Dusty's message today is loaves and fishes. So, I'm going to read this community's purpose statement, and this is our reason for being here. Our purpose is to inspire, educate, and empower individuals to experience themselves as unique and individualized expressions of God, the love intelligence that governs the universe. We are committed to not merely a theoretical understanding of our oneness and unity with God, but to consciously practice this truth in our everyday lives. Through celebration, service, study, and fellowship, we are committed to the transformation of our personal lives and to being a powerful and beneficial presence on the planet. With the energy of unconditional love, simply, we are here for God. So, I invite you to turn within, to open your heart and your mind, and to allow the sounds of the crystal bowl to wash over you.
You to bring your attention back into your room, back into your bodies. The Triangle Center for Spiritual Living honors the truth that we are all created by God out of the same God stuff, and that there is a multiplicity of divine emanations, each individualized and unique in their own way, as represented by this ceremony, please welcome Larry, who will be assisting us this morning. Thank you, Larry. Whether this is your first time with us or your 1,000th time or something in between, you are loved and accepted here just as you are. Whether you are in the room physically or participating via technology or something in between, you are loved and accepted here just as you are. Whether your soul is full of joy and possibility or your heart is heavy and your mind is consumed with troubles or something in between, you are loved and accepted here just as you are. Whether you are brand new to the science of mind philosophy or you have practiced it for a long time, or something in between, you are loved and accepted here just as you are. Whether your skin, eye, and hair color are a rich, dark shade, or you are the palest tint of color, or something in between, you are loved and accepted here just as you are. Whether you are straight, cisgender, man or woman, or you identify with the LGBTQ plus community, or something in between, you are loved and accepted here just as you are. Whether your politics tend toward the red side or towards the blue side or something in between, you are loved and accepted here just as you are. Whether you were born and raised in this country or came here from a different land or something in between, you are loved and accepted here just as you are. Whether you are married, single, or somewhere in between, you are loved and accepted here just as you are. Whether you're in the first third of your life, the third third of your life, or somewhere in between, you are loved and accepted here just as you are. Whether you feel your connection with God is the driving force in your life, or you aren't sure that you even believe in God, or something in between, you are loved and accepted here just as you are. Each and every color is beautiful, unique, and significant. They all combine together into an amazing whole. Thank you all for contributing your special vibration to today's service and to life itself. And so it is. Thank you, Larry. Now I invite you to turn within, closing your outer eyes if you're comfortable as I speak a word of blessing on today's service. So grateful in this moment to recognize that one source, love back of everything. So grateful to know that power is here with us this morning as it is every second of our lives. We are never separated from that one source of all creation. I know that I'm one with that source, as I know that each person within the sound of my voice is as well, that we are all connected by that golden thread of God's stuff. My heart is full today to speak a word of blessing on this Sunday celebration service for all those lovely souls that are here in person, all of those beautiful people that are watching us from the comfort of their homes, and all of those that will be watching this service in the future. I know that each life is blessed by our connection with the One. I bless Reverend Dusty as she comes forward with her message today, knowing that we are each open to hear what it is that is being spoken just for us. I speak a word of blessing on Sandy as he comes forward with his gift of music, lending a little more sacredness to our service today. Blessing Ava and the AV booth, doing all that needs to be done so that we are heard and seen well in the room and online. And speaking blessings on Reverend Betty for her service today, for her beautiful meditation that prepared the space. And blessing each person here at Four Points and each person at home that's watching. Knowing that we each bring our individual light to this community and to the world. And for that and for so many reasons, I'm grateful. And so it is. Our reading for today is from Ernest Holmes. He says, "We are in partnership with Infinite Mind, the Supreme Intelligence, the universal creative order, and the all-perfect presence. This is God, our partner, our source, our life. Throw yourself with complete abandonment and acceptance into its soft embrace, for it is closer to you than your very breath, and nearer to you than your hands and feet. It is right where you are." And now, please help me in welcoming Sandy Hemingway.
Morning, everyone. So when I saw the topic was loaves and fishes, my first thought was to do something by bread. But I didn't think "Baby, I'ma Want You" was going to be appropriate. So this is a Daniel Nahmod song. It's called "I Don't Need to Know." When things go wrong, it's natural to wonder, what celestial rule did I break? When things go right, it's logical to ponder, what credit can I take? But the truth is so much easier. I don't need a master plan. I can live here in the moment, 'cause my life is in good hands. I don't need to know where the wind blows, 'cause God knows. I don't need to know what the future holds, 'cause God knows. I need never know how pain ends, how my heart mends. I can just let go, 'cause God knows. But still I find I'm crying out for answers. Guess I'm still craving control. And still I find I'm afraid of taking chances, as if I could damage my soul. But at this moment I remember, it comes so clear to me, the minute I surrender, I'm as safe as I can be. I don't need to know I can just let go. I can just let go. 'Cause God knows. God knows. God knows.
Perfect song for today, Sandy, as always. Thank you very much for choosing it and singing it so beautifully. Good morning, everyone who may have just entered the room or turned on your television sets or computers at home. Today we are exploring the importance of having faith, the faith of God, because God knows. And we're looking at that in order to be able to move beyond any sense of limitation that we might have in being able to really powerfully step into a consciousness of abundance and being willing to accept that abundance. Now, a really great example of this is the story of Jesus and the loaves and fishes. So the Reader's Digest version of this story is that there were so many people who wanted to hear Jesus preach that they began to follow him wherever he was, walking to. And this one time, a really large crowd, I mean a huge crowd of people, followed him out into some really remote area. And when Jesus noticed this large crowd, he began to teach. And he continued to teach throughout the entire day. Until later on, getting towards the evening, the disciples began to notice that no one had really had any supper, and that probably they hadn't even really eaten all day, and now they've been sitting out in the sun listening to Jesus teach and preach. And so they came up to Jesus and they said, there is no food around here. They were really remote. There's no food around here and it's getting pretty late, so maybe we should let the people go so that they can go into some of the villages that are right around this area and find something to eat. And Jesus said to them, you give them something to eat. And they kind of wrinkled up their eyebrows a little bit, and they wondered how exactly that he wanted them to do that. They didn't think that maybe they had understood him right, so they said, we can't feed all of these people. It would take over a year to make the money in order to be able to buy all of this food. And while the disciples were talking to Jesus, one of them, whose name was Andrew, noticed a young boy that was walking by carrying his small lunch. And so Andrew asked him, what do you have for lunch? And when the young boy told him, then Andrew went over to speak again to Jesus and told him that the young boy had 5 small loaves of bread and 2 fish. And so Jesus invited the young boy over and asked him if he would give up his lunch, which of course he said that he would. And so Jesus took the bread and he held it up to the heavens and he thanked God for it. And then he took the fish and he did the same thing, held it up to the heavens and thanked God for it. And then they put the fish and the 5 loaves into some baskets, and they put it out into the crowd. Now, when I said a large crowd, I meant a large crowd. There was over 5,000 people there. And so they let those baskets go out amongst the people, allowing them to take whatever it was that they wanted, however much they wanted to eat. So remember now, there was only 5 loaves of bread and 2 small fish. And there were 5,000 people sitting there, and as the disciples looked out over the crowd, they noticed that everyone was indeed eating, and eating as much as they could possibly want. And after everyone was full, Jesus asked the disciples to gather up all of the food so that whatever was left over wouldn't go to waste. And so the disciples did that, and after they had gathered up all of that food, they counted it all up, and there were still 12 baskets completely full, overflowing with bread and fish. Before even asking, Jesus trusted. He trusted and knew that he was really connected to and had access to the infinite abundance of spirit. He knew that God is our source and our supply. He knew that God can do anything, and that infinite abundance, that infinite power of spirit, could feed the multitudes. No problem. Because of his faith and his deep and abiding awareness of his oneness with the divine, he turned away from the lack and limitation that looked like was present and stood firmly grounded in his truth. Now, I believe that Jesus was not the great, exception, but truly the great example of how we can all be and do in our lives. I believe that each and every single one of us can rise up into a new consciousness, that we can commune with our true nature of infinite potential, and that we can all do great things like this. All of us. Now, I believe that just like Jesus, when we let go of thoughts of lack and limitation and stop looking at our lives from a very limited perspective that comes to us because of our circumstances or our conditions, when we can do that, then we can know beyond a shadow of a doubt that anything is possible. So, who do we have to be, and what do we have to do in order to live our lives from this place of knowingness, this place of faith? And the answer is in that question. The first idea is childlike faith. Childlike faith doesn't question. Childlike faith doesn't doubt. Children believe that all things are possible. In fact, they expect miracles to happen. They have yet to be conditioned into the dream of lack and limitation that most of us are living our adult lives within. They look at life with wonder and with awe and with curiosity and with joy. The boy in the loaves and fishes story had the faith of God when he gave over his meager lunch to Jesus. On Thanksgiving Day, November 24th, 1949, during his radio show, which was called This Thing Called Life, Ernest Holmes said, "Isn't it wonderful that out of all of that vast throng of people who needed to be fed, and the doctors of the law who stood around, and those who thought they knew all the answers, and even his immediate disciples, the only person in that great congregation who really entered into the spirit of what Jesus was doing was a little boy." You see, Jesus and the little boy were the only two people in that gathering who didn't know that it couldn't be done. The definition of faith really includes a strong or unshakable belief in something. Complete confidence or trust in a person or in a doctrine or in a remedy or in God. It is a belief that is not based on evidence or proof, It's a mental acceptance of the truth or the actuality of something. Energetically, it's a much higher belief than hope, a much stronger energy field or vibration. It moves us from wondering whether something will occur or even thinking that it could happen to a space of believing, trusting, feeling sure, and having faith, and even knowing that it will happen. Now, whatever we can have faith in, we can experience according to the law of cause and effect. The law of cause and effect is immutable, it's invariable, and it's absolute. It works the same way all of the time for everyone with absolutely no exceptions. It can only say yes, it can't say no. Faith supports all of our beliefs. It is done unto you as you believe. So faith supports all of our beliefs. So the question then becomes, what are we putting our faith into? Are we putting our faith into fear and doubt and worry, or are we putting our faith into a universe that is completely abundance? Or are we putting our faith into an indwelling spirit that is always giving to us? We either have faith in fear or we have faith in love. We either have faith in the world of form or we have faith in God. We can choose to have faith in abundance rather than fear, rather than faith in lack and limitation. We can choose to have faith in love rather than faith in war. We can choose to have faith in our wholeness rather than in any particular kind of diagnosis. And the really good news about that is that we have a choice in the matter. We have a choice in the matter. We can choose what is right for us. For me, faith is always a spiritual conversation. It's a spiritual substance, and when we have that substance within us, it communicates to us an inner knowing, an inner certainty that the thing that we are hoping for, the thing that we are wanting to have happen, is already established in the mind of God. That it is already present on the spiritual side of life long before we ever see physical evidence of it happening. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not yet seen. Marianne Williamson says, to trust in the force that moves the universe is faith. Faith isn't blind, it's visionary. Faith is believing that the universe is on our side and that the universe knows what it's doing. Sandy sang about it. Faith is a psychological awareness of the unfolding force for good, constantly at work in all dimensions. So in general, we are encouraged to communicate with that which we know to be true, with that presence of God that is within us and with the universal intelligence that surrounds us. We're encouraged to have faith in the universe and to know that it is a universe that is always for us and never against us. And to release any belief in what our human perceptions might be telling us at any given moment in time about lack and limitation. We are encouraged to have faith and to know that it is God's good pleasure to give us the kingdom of heaven on earth. We're encouraged to understand and embody the distinction between the idea of having faith in God or the idea of having the faith of God. So think about what the faith of God could do, could mean. with a depth and a breadth and a kind of faith like that. The kind of faith and depth of faith of that which created everything that there is, seen and unseen. Can you even imagine it? Faith is our yes to the universe. It is our consent to really allow our good to flow to and through us. Our consent. The invitation is to let loose the idea that we are only human. That any particular problem is beyond a solution, or that any particular need is too challenging, or that any particular fear is too daunting. We are not only human. We are a divine emanation of the divine. And when we know that and have faith in that, then anything, really anything and everything is possible. The place is, that place, living from that context, is not about hoping or believing or even feeling sure or even about faith. It's about knowing. Knowing from a place within you that is unshakable. From a place within you that is so deeply connected to the divine that we can never be separate from it. Never separate from our good, never separate from abundance. And the second idea, beyond faith, we have to be open to receive. Receiving means consenting to be a conduit for that flow of life to move through us. If we don't believe that we can live a life that is abundant, we unconsciously create the conditions and the circumstances that assure us that we're not going to live a life that is abundant. Remember, it just says yes. Yes. If we're not open to receive, we do not allow ourselves to experience that kind of abundance, to experience the life that we really want to live. When we are open to receive God's bounty, we realize that we are actually a part of that flow. And that it's constantly moving through us. The wave is not separate from the ocean. The wave is an integral part of the ocean. Think about receiving like the inhalation of a breath. It is saying yes to life. That life force, that inhalation is saying yes to that life force coming into us. And the chest and the heart open up when we deeply inhale, increasing our capacity to let in more aliveness, to let in more vitality. In receiving, we are available, we are accessible, we are alert, we are awake, and we are prepared. We allow life to touch us deeply. Charles Fillmore says in his book, Prosperity, there is no scarcity of the earth that you breathe. There's plenty of air, all that you would ever need, but if you close your lungs and refuse a breath, you will not get any, and you will suffocate because of lack of air. When you recognize the presence of abundance of air and you open your lungs to breathe it deeply, you get a larger inspiration. This is exactly what you should do with your mind in regard to substance. Open it up. Be willing to receive. The invitation is to stop limiting the flow and allow ourselves to be touched or expanded by life. That breath in. In order to do this, we can simply take the time to really notice all of the little things that please us, all of the little things that come to us, and to allow ourselves to feel and appreciate them with intention, with conscious intention. Our degree of prosperity is not a matter of what or how much we have. It is how we are with what we have. So our attitudes, our mental concepts, our beliefs, and our outlook, that how we are-ness of being with what we have, connects us to God's rich substance and becomes our access to it. Our attitudes, our beliefs, our outlooks, our mental concepts. The underlying truth is that God can only do for us what God can do through us. So the invitation is to stay open and be willing to receive. The law of circulation says that giving and receiving is the reciprocal ebb and flow of yin and yang. This means that giving and receiving are connected. We could even say that they're one and the same, two sides of the same coin. We cannot have one without the other. The reality is that we are in an ever-flowing cycle of giving and receiving. It is literally, right, the process of our breathing. We take in oxygen, and on the out-breath, we give carbon dioxide to the world so that others, other sentient beings that need it to survive and to thrive, can get it. We live in synchronicity with the world around us. Symbiotic relationships are abundant in nature. You see them everywhere you look, and are needed for the ecosystem to really be able to thrive. Without it, everything would be in chaos. Everything would fall apart. The author, Parker Palmer, tells a story about a flight, an airline flight that he was on, and it was to leave at 6 o'clock in the morning. It was an Air Canada flight. It was taking him home after he gave a speech in Saskatoon. He said of the flight, when he was talking about it, that the departure was delayed because the truck that brings coffee to the planes had broken down. Now, after a while, the pilot said, "We're going to take off without the coffee because I need to be able to get you into Detroit on time." So he says, Parker Palmer says that he was up front, you know, in the business class with all of the road warriors, and it kind of declined into a surly group of people. They began to loudly gripe about incompetence and the lousy service that they were receiving on Air Canada. And once we got into the air, a flight attendant came to the center of the aisle with her mic, and she said, "Good morning. We're flying to Minneapolis today at an altitude of 300 feet. Now you can imagine that this made all the surly people even more surly. And then she said, "Now that I have your attention, I know you're upset about the coffee. Get over it. Start sharing stuff with your seatmates. The bag of peanuts that you got on your last flight and put into your pocket, tear it open and start to share some of those peanuts with the people around you. Got gum or mints? Share them. You can't read the entire newspaper at all at one time, so take different sections of it and share it with the people that are sitting next to you. Offer them to each other. Offer something to each other. Show off the pictures of your kids and your grandchildren that you have in your wallets." And as she went on in that vein, people began laughing and doing what she asked them to do. that completely surly scene turned into summer camp. The invitation this morning is to embody the example beautifully expressed by the story of the loaves and fishes, and to know that Spirit is our source and supply. To step into our own abundance with childlike faith, receiving what some may call a miracle, but what we know is that anything and everything is possible. The bottom line is that there is an inner power and presence within each of us, that responds to us and works for us. And when we know this truth, as Jesus did, our prayers are answered and our supply is multiplied, just like the loaves and fishes. And so it is. And so it is. So I invite everyone to turn within as I speak a word of prayer for each of us this morning. Recognizing with my eyes closed and my attention turned inward and following my in-breath down to the center of my being, that center, that core, that spark, that light. That power and presence that is within me, that power and presence that is within each and every single one of us, all sentient beings on the planet, with no exception. That power and presence that connects us one to the other and to life itself. That power and presence that is always for us and more than ready, willing, and able to not only feed the multitudes, but to give us the kingdom of heaven on earth. We arrived on the planet with that abundance within us, surrounding us. The universe is completely abundant. We see it in the stars in the sky and the grains of sand on the beaches and the colors and the textures and the shapes and the sizes. There even just recently found new organisms in the sea that have never been noticed before, never seen before, constantly growing, constantly evolving, constantly giving, constantly becoming more and more abundant. That abundance is available to each and every single one of us, and I claim ease and grace for us around tapping into it, around knowing who and whose we are and standing firmly grounded in that truth, turning away from lack and limitation, turning away from any, I can't receive, I'm not worthy of receiving, I'm not enough. To turn away from all of that resistance to being who we really are and to allow ourselves to powerfully step into the flow of life, participating in the giving and receiving of it all in the way that we were created to do, and to know that everything is multiplied. That we live in a world that we love living in. Truly, we are abundant. And it really behooves us to share of that abundance. With each other, supporting each other, lifting each other up, just like we do when we breathe out that carbon dioxide. Participate in that synchronicity of nature. so grateful to know this truth and to speak these words. So grateful for the power of prayer, knowing that these words are loosed into a law that only ever says yes. And so I speak these words and I release them into that law, letting go and letting God be God. And I invite each of us to anchor this prayer for ourselves, for each other, for our community, the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living, and for the world, simply by saying, and so it is. And so it is. Amen. Thank you all. It is now time for our conscious giving. The Triangle Center for Spiritual Living is sustained by the giving of our time, talent, and treasure. This is the time every week when we offer financial support to assist this community to continue to be a beacon of light and love for ourselves and others. Together we affirm the truth that today's offering lifts this spiritual community, prospers the one giving, and adds to the energy of sufficiency on the planet. There are 3 ways that you can give. They're here on your screen or on your screens at home. Visit our website at trianglecsl.org. You can text the word GIVE to 919-629-9148, or you can mail your gift to our office at PO Box 4062, Cary, North Carolina, 27519. And now I invite everyone, whether you're here in the room or you're at home, to please place your hand with your gift or just your hand with perhaps an affirmation in your heart. And we will do our offering affirmation in a call and response. I live in an abundant universe that blesses and prospers my life. I give with gratitude, knowing that God is my source. And so it is. So it is. Thank you all so very much for your generosity. And now please let's welcome the amazing Sandy Hemingway back to his piano.
So I don't have a good faith song to sing, but I have a song called Hope. And I've always thought of hope as the kindling for faith. And the transformation is when hope turns into action, it becomes faith. Hope is knowing when skies are gray that on another day the sun will shine. Hope is growing in every way so we can learn to leave our pain behind. Hope is that small spark, that warm voice in your heart. In troubled times, hope is your best friend. Hope is that small spark of sunshine in the dark that knows somehow the joy will come again. Hope's a feeling inside your heart. It fills the emptiness when you are sad. Hope is healing when you're in pain. Release your anger and you can't stay mad. Hope is that small spark, that warm voice in your heart. In troubled times, hope is your best friend.
Sandy, thank you so much. If you would like prayer, please go to our website at trianglecsl.org, and on the homepage there's a button in the upper right-hand corner. Click that button and fill out the request form. We will get your request and send it out to the ministers and practitioners to know that prayer for you during the week. If you would like to help us provide flowers for the pulpit on Sunday, as well as offer up flowers to someone or for something, or just for yourself, please send an email to info@trianglecsl.org or to Dusty at dustyrippelmeyer@yahoo.com, and we will be very appreciative of your supporting our flowers for Sundays. Now, in the comfort of your own home and here at 4 Points, please stand for our November affirmations. This is a call and response, and please repeat it with meaning. I know that my thoughts and beliefs shape my reality. By maintaining a positive mindset and cultivating thoughts of abundance, I attract and manifest abundance in my life.
By maintaining a positive mindset and cultivating thoughts of abundance, I attract and manifest abundance in my life.
Because my consciousness is one with the world around me, I consider this the inherent generosity of the universe.
Because my consciousness is one with the world around me, I consider this the inherent generosity of the universe.
I know that this abundance shows up in a plethora of ways.
I know that this abundance shows up in a plethora of ways.
By recognizing the interconnectedness of all living things, I open myself to the infinite abundance that nature provides.
By recognizing the interconnectedness of all living things, I open myself to the infinite abundance that nature brings.
As I realize that the fullness of life is right where and who I am grateful and filled with wonder.
As I realize the fullness of life is right where and who I am grateful and filled with wonder.
From that space, I choose to rise up and dance in a celebration of life.
From that space, I choose to rise up and dance in a celebration of life.
And so it is. Thank you. You may be seated. And now, please close your outer eyes once again as I speak a word of gratitude for today's Sunday celebration service. So grateful for what has transpired today, for each person that has blessed this space with their light, each person online that has said good morning, each person that gives of their time, talent, and treasure to our community to make it what it is. I am so grateful. So grateful for Reverend Dusty and her timely message this morning about the abundance that is always there and present for us, and it is just ours to claim and ours to know that it is always for our highest good, and it is always a blessing for our lives. So grateful for our community that allows us to gather on Sundays and Wednesdays and for special occasions to break bread together, to share together, to open our hearts and minds with one another. Just grateful for this community in my life and in the lives of each of us. For all these blessings, for all the blessings that I'm not even aware of. I'm grateful, and so it is.
Thank you all again so very much for being here with us today or inviting us into your home. Thank you for all the volunteers. Thank you for Sandy and his beautiful music. Thank you for Reverend Betty and Heather. And just thank you, God, for life itself. Have a really great week. We'll see you soon. I love you all very much.